Hi, this is Bob from bobstuff.com. I'm going to talk today about replacing the base gear inside the Nutribullet. I made a similar video with the Magic Bullet, and this is similar, but it's a little more difficult with the Nutribullet than it is with the Magic Bullet. The first thing you got to do is you got to look at the bottom. Again, like the Magic Bullet, they have a slot where you're supposed to put a screwdriver in there and hold it in place while you turn the gear to get it out. I find that very difficult to do, and I've not been able to get it to work even with a small screwdriver. So what I do is we have 4 little screws on here, and I get a small screwdriver. It's a Phillips, and I'll take each of these little screws out of the base. Now you're going to notice when you take these out and you go to lift the base off, which is pretty easy to do. Make sure the screws are completely out. This is a little magnetic, so it makes it nice. You can easily grab inside over here and pull, but as you do, you find that it doesn't come out. It feels like there's something sticking. Just keep pulling nice and easy, and it will slide completely out. It's just a tight fit, and it makes it a little more difficult to get back in, but it does go back in pretty easily. Okay? So once you have this out, it looks very similar to the Magic Bullet, except that you don't have the big head on the screw. It's a flat inset screw, so you can't grab the head. This made it very difficult, and the first number of times I tried it, I couldn't figure out how to hold this piece in place while I turned the gear. But I found the best way to do it was to get a towel, and I just use this as a pillowcase. I just stuff it in there around that gear, and it gives me something firm to hold on to, and I can hold that really tight. Then I go to the inside, and I get a pair of needle nose pliers, and I put them across. You can see that? I put it across the metal circle in the middle, the little brass circle. And the needle noses are nice because they can push on the teeth of the base gear. And again, you got to turn it clockwise, not counterclockwise. So as you're holding the base firmly with the towel, and you hold your screwdriver tight, you start to turn, and they put these on pretty tight, but it does come loose. Okay? And it just screws out, just like the Nutribullet, the Magic Bullet rather. You're left with just the shaft, and the brass insert is inside on the gear itself. Sometimes the plastic, I've heard, shatters or breaks, and just the brass gear stays on here. You got to be careful not to grab it too tightly because you can deform it, and if you wedge it into like an oval shape, it makes it really difficult to get it off the threads of the shaft. But you should be able to get it off pretty good, easy. And you just take your replacement, and remember, you got to turn it counterclockwise instead of clockwise like you would normally, and you just screw it back in and finger tight, and that's it. Okay? Then you go back to the base, and if you look at this, the piece you took off, there's a little tab. You see that little tab on here. Okay? that little tab will align where the cable goes in. So you want to make sure that it's oriented properly. Now there's also notches on the side. Those notches will align with these little screws. I don't know if you can see that. There are 3 little screws inside that stick out. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay? Those notches will align with those 3 screws to give it clearance so that you can slide this over. Now this is a little bit of a tight fit, and it takes a little bit of a finesse to get it to go back in. And once you align it properly, you have to slip it past. See this bundle of wires in here? You have to push this little bundle of wires off to the side so that you can get it down to down on the side of it. You insert it. I find it's easier if you put this side in where the wires is first and give it a little push. Then I find I have to go in my fingers and just give it a little push on each of those little screws to get it to go past. And then once you've got it, it just slides right back on. Once it's back on, you take your 4 little screws and your little Phillips screwdriver. 1, 2, 'cause I'm trying to show you at the same time. 3, 4, and that's it. And you're all set to go. And this will tighten up on its own, so you don't have to worry about it being too tight because of the way that it spins. Hope it works for you. Again, Bob from bobstuff.com. I sell the gear replacements, so you can check out my website.